What's up, guys? This is Gypsy, the boxing styles. Okay, this video is gonna be a video on the fight with Porter and Spence, who actually won the fight and all the etc. shit. Let me put this over here actually. Yeah. I thought Spence won that fight, bro. I mean, initially when I saw the fight, I thought Porter was taking it to him. I didn't want to get emotional after the fight. I didn't want to go like, "Oh shit, I know Porter won." I mean, I said robbery initially in the Discord app, but after looking into the fight, I'll say definitely Spence won that fight by 8-4, including the KD. There was close rounds, but if you really look in those close rounds, I think the closest rounds to me was the 9th and the 10th. And then the 12th round was also close. But if you really look at it, you'll see that who actually won those rounds. There was a clear victor in those rounds if you really look at it and not be a biased guy. You know what I mean? Because I thought I was about to rewatch this whole fight and go like, oh, I told you, man, I was wrong. Porter fucking lost that fight. And I mean, Spence lost that fight, but definitely not. I was gonna make a mockery out of Spence. I was like, yeah, dude, I had a whole thing going on over here. I was about to do about Spence being this and that, but Spence did his job. The thing is that when you fight Porter, whenever you fight Porter, makes the fight look like it's close sometimes, even though it's not close. The Ugas fight was not even close. This one is almost like the Ugas fight, but not exactly, because Ugas made him fight his fight. But Spence fought Porter's fight. There's a difference. And he beat him in his own game. Exactly. The only round that was the dominant performance by Porter was the 4th round. I gave him that. Yeah, there was some low blows. I could go by... Let's go round by round analysis. Let's just do that one. Let's go round by round analysis. That's how I'm going to do it. There's no 10-2. What the fuck? 10-2? Amaro? Oh my god. Shut the fuck up, Precise and Unrivaled. Keep your emotions in check. Jesus Christ. Girly man over here. Jesus fucking Christ. It's just a fight. Here we go. First round. There was nothing much. Porter took it with the body shots a little bit. Spence landed a couple shots, but nothing special. I gave that shit to Porter. Second round, number 2. I gave it to Spence, cleaner shots. The wobble incident, I thought he actually got hit too. I was like, that's why I gave it to Porter. I was like, nah, he hurt him. But there was no, he just off balance. He went back. He made Porter miss that shot. That's why he got wobbled. Not wobbled. He lost his balance. You know what I mean? That's number 2. I gave Spence for that cleaner shots. Yeah, beautiful. It was a really dominant performance in the second round by Spence. Not dominant, but he was the one who clearly won that round. Third round, I got Spence, but it was pretty dirty with the low blows. A lot of low blows. 50 low blows my ass, but the real legitimate low blows were landed in the third round. There were some low blows landing in the other rounds as well, but this is the round that, a lot of low blows were taking place, but he still won it because he hurt him more. He just did. He hurt him a lot more than Porter did. I mean, no points were deducted. I mean, you give him a warning, right? You give him one warning before you even deduct it anyhow, but, I know Jack Reese was on the side of Errol Spence, so it don't matter. I'm gonna look at it that way. I'm just gonna give Spence that win. That round as a win, even though it was dirty. I have to admit. The 4th round, I gave it to Porter, the most dominant round of Porter. You could possibly give that a 10-8, but the reason why I didn't give it a 10-8 is because Spence, at the end, came back. This fight was competitive only because Spence let Porter fight his fight. If he had fought like Ugas did, this would have been a whole different game. But then again, he was going for the KO. In order to get a KO, you gotta push it. You gotta push the pace, bro. But he didn't get it. So, anyways, the fourth round, yeah, the Porter, it was the most dominant performance, just like I said. But it was a 10-9, not a 10-8. Fifth round, I gave it to Spence with the cleaner punches. He landed the better punches in that round, the cleaner, and I think he was like, I think yeah, it was similar to the second round. Let's just say that much. Similar to the second round. Cleaner punches, except for no unbalance issue. You know what I mean? Sixth round, I also gave it to Spence. He outworked the shit out of him with the body shots. He moved the pace on him. He pushed the pace on him. He hurt him. He's even hurting him with the inside game too. He was clocking him 1-2 every time you see his shoulder go clack clack. He's hitting him 1-2 right on the chin, and he's backing. That's how Porter's backing up. But Porter was throwing flashy ass punches. A lot of these flashy punches didn't even touch realistically. I would say half and half. Half touched, half. A lot of them didn't touch though. There was moments where Porter lunged in. This is what happened. Spence puts the glove up right his cheek, didn't touch him. It was just, and he's going backwards, and he's not. His head ain't moving this way, that way from the hit. You know what I mean? He's not getting hit with those. Or else, yeah, Spence would have been in a lot worse situation because I think Porter has enough power to really bruise fucking Spence up. I'm just telling you this much because what he did to Ugas after a few punches, Jesus Christ. Anyways, so yeah, the fifth round was pretty much like the second one, and the sixth round, I give it to Spence. Fifth was Spence. Sixth was Spence as well. Seven is where Porter took it. Porter took it because he outworked him. He did the exact same thing that Spence did to him in the sixth round. He did it in the seventh round. So then you have 8 for Spence also, but this was a close round. Pretty even, actually, I should say. You can give it to either or guy actually in this one, but no, actually you wouldn't. There's a reason why. He was the one backing him up. Spence backed him up with the inside game. There's a lot of incidences where Spence backs him up because of the inside game. He hits him in the face, he hits him in the body, hits him in the face, hits him in the body, just switches it up, you know what I mean? A lot of incidences like that. I'm not saying Porter wasn't doing that. Porter was doing the same thing, but the more effective work, not just the more effective work, the guys hits that were mostly landing cleaner and also landing, unlike Porter's, was Spence. So that was the 8th round. The 9th round. Same thing. Same exact thing as the 8th. The 10th round. The 10th round is still Spence. Same as the 9th. This pretty much this 8, 9, and 10 were pretty close rounds, but if you watch carefully, you see who's the actual victor of those rounds. It took me a while to figure out who actually won those rounds. 8, 9, 10, but it was the A side. It was Spence who won those fucking rounds. I mean, not the A side as in like I'm gonna give it to him because he's the A side. No, he won those rounds because he clearly won those rounds. He backed the guy up. He hurt him more than he hurt him. So the 11th round also went to Spence because of the KD. Also, and he was the one dominating in that round as well. 12th round, I gave it to Porter. Porter landed better shots. Porter landed the more eye-catching shots, the better shots. He made fucking arrows and they go like that. A lot of times, you made it. That I gave it to Porter. There's no biased shit going on here because I had Spence. No, I looked at it thoroughly, and these are, those are the toughest rounds to judge. Were the 8th and 9th and 10th. The 11th was not, and the 12th actually. 8th, 9th, 10th, and 12th. Those last rounds were hard. You know why it was hard? Because Porter makes it super difficult to fucking figure out what's really going on in the fight. He makes the fight way too difficult. That's how it was the same thing with Thurman. He makes the fight way too difficult to understand who actually is winning the fight because he smothers his work. That's why I thought Porter won that fight because he makes it look like he did, but he really didn't. Thurman actually fucking won that fight. Thurman won it by 1 round, and I forgot. I think I gave him 2 rounds. I was 1 to 2 rounds above. It was a closer fight than the Spence fight. A lot closer, yes. Uh, the Thurman fight. But Spence, yeah, ultimately did a better job than Thurman. Ultimately, he did a better job. He knocked him down. He hurt him a bunch of times. He had some clear good shots a lot of times, and especially I think that second round, catching him when his chin was like this. Like, dude, he hurt him a lot of times, but Porter is a tough cat, like I said in my first assessment of the fight between them. Before I went to my second one, and I thought he was going to KO him. But there, just no way. After looking at this fight, even if there was a rematch, I don't see Spence KOing Porter. But he will probably do a better performance. He might understanding him better. Maybe he'll do better than 8-4, maybe a 9-3, maybe a 10-2. Well, I doubt 10-2, but 9-3 the maximum. But I don't, or I don't see him KOing. It's just he's a tough guy. Porter is a really tough dude. I think some of these, I think the low blows. I thought the low blows would carry through as well. But then after the third round, when Jack Reese told him to stop it, he was afraid of the white man. You know what I mean? I guess I don't know what happened to him. He just didn't want to do low blows. He did it every now and then, but not intentionally. He was mostly on the belt line, not below the belt line. So the fight was dirty from him, but only maximum on the third. It was really on the third round that was the most dirtiest. The third round was the most dirtiest. Otherwise, there wasn't really much of anything dirty from either side. Porter kind of lunged in with a few times with his head, not too many times. It was a pretty, in a way, you could probably say it was pretty clean being a PBC fight. You know what I mean? Like, it was pretty clean in some ways. You know what I mean? So, yeah. As I was saying, it was a pretty clean fight, and fucking neighbor over here. Pretty clean to some extent. To a PBC level, it was pretty clean, or to Errol Spence level, I can say, yeah, he's a low blow hitter, bro. There's no doubt about it. I cannot deny that. You know what I mean? So, to recap all the rounds, I posted this shit on Discord anyway, but I'm gonna say it on this video for people who are not on Discord. Porter the first round, Spence the second round. Keep in mind that the first time I watched it, I gave Spence the first round. Not true. Porter the first round. Spence the second round. And a lot of people didn't argue with that one. Third one, I gave it to Spence as well, even though people are going to say, oh, disqualification now. For fourth round, I gave it to Porter, the most dominant performance from Porter. Fifth round, I gave it to Spence, cleaner punches. Sixth round, I gave it to Spence. He outworked him. Seventh round, I gave it to Porter. Porter outworked him. Eighth round, I gave it to Spence as well because he backed him up. It was a pretty close round, but he's the one backing him up. Whoever's backing up who is close, that's the guy you give it to. 9, I gave it to fucking Spence as well. Same thing as the 8th. Backing him up. Let's see, it was 9th, right? My phone just went down right here. All right. 10th round, I gave it to Spence as well. Same as 9, cleaner shots. Same as the 9, backing him up, but cleaner shots to the head. And then number 10, I just remembered. And then 11th was a KD, dominant performance by Spence. And then 12th, Porter took that one. Porter took the 12th. But it was competitive almost every single round. Almost, I would say almost every single round. Yeah, it was pretty competitive every single round. Almost every single round. Maybe let me double check here, if it was really competitive throughout the whole rounds. All the 12 rounds, should I say? Oh man, it was pretty competitive. Most of the rounds were competitive. Not all the rounds were competitive. Most of the rounds were competitive. But if you really carefully look, because it's not like there's a round where Porter doesn't land a single punch, or there's a round where Spence doesn't land a single punch. It's ridiculous. There's no such thing like that. Or he does land one, or like 1 to fucking 20 ratio, shit like that. No, There was nothing like that. The only round that was kind of close to that, it was one for Porter, and there was a couple of rounds for Spence like that as well. But it wasn't like 1-20 or something like that. It was 1-5 or 1-6 or 7 or something like that. 10 maximum. I think Porter had the most dominant round from either guy. I think probably except for the knockdown round from Errol was the fourth round for Porter. Yeah, I gave 4, bro. 8-4, 8-4, and plus the KD, which is pretty much like a 9-3. You know what I mean? But it's not a 9-3. Like I predicted in the first analysis, that's how first assessment, the fight. That's how it went down, but it could have gone better. I think Errol, they say Errol didn't took Porter seriously, but I don't think he really did take him seriously. I really genuinely don't believe he took him seriously in this fight. You can tell by his demeanor, you can tell by a lot of things. The guy took him seriously to a certain extent. He did not take him like seriously to the point where like, you know, he's fighting Terence Crawford. He's about to fight Terence Crawford or Manny Pacquiao or something like that. He took him seriously to a certain extent, man. He if you can see it, you know, when in the locker room before his fight is about to even start, there's no, the energy, you know, you could see Porter taking it extremely serious in his locker room. The way he's looking at it. You see Spence like laughing and giggling and, you know, I mean, I guess he thought the cat's in the bag. He's going to easily win this fight, and not only is he going to easily win, to favor him no matter what. But yeah, the urgency wasn't as great. Even though he said he was going to KO him, he was trying, he was doing his best, and you know they both gave it their hearts. The urgency wasn't there from Spence. The Porter, there was a lot of urgency. I saw a lot of, you know, he felt like he had something to prove. Spence felt like he had nothing to prove. Spence felt like he knew he was going to get it done, and on top of that, if he didn't get it done, the decision is his anyhow. You know what I mean? Which it was, but he truly did win. It's not like he didn't win the fight. You know what I mean? No 10-2 nonsense. Don't I mean? I don't want to hear 10-2. I can't believe I fucking like that fool's fucking vid, man. There's no 10-2, and they're not MRO bums. These guys are still pretty good and elite. The way they move and do all the things they do, they're pretty elite. Even Porter himself, he's pretty elite. He's better than before. Maybe he took something out of the Ugas fight. Just because you lose a fight pretty bad like that doesn't mean anything. You can still learn from it, and he's an elite level guy that can learn from his mistakes. Yeah, and Pacquiao, you know, Pacquiao's fight was 8-4 too. I mean, that was, so what do you call it? Thurman a fucking bum also? I mean, like, come on, man. Thurman had a close fight with Porter. I mean, these guys are not bums, okay? These are not bums. These guys are elite level fighters, but there's elite and then there's elite. And, you know, Spence was the better guy, to say that much. And Spence can beat Pacquiao, even though I want Pacquiao to win that fight. But I'm going to give Spence the slight edge in beating Pacquiao. And I don't know what the fuck is he fighting Danny Garcia for? It's ridiculous. Danny Garcia's fight should not happen. That's a no-no for the sport. I guess it's something that he wants to do just to prove a point. He said he wants to fight everybody in the welterweight division, but that's just ridiculous. Why you got to fight a guy like Danny? And what else can I add to this nonsense? This madness. It's not nonsense. It's madness. Who else is there? Yeah, the jab was pretty efficient on both sides. I think Porter used this jab his way, and Errol used this jab his way. Errol set him up for jabs. Porter used this jab more of a power punch than anything else, a lot of cases. And he set him up also with his thing. But it was pretty even, if you want to say the jab game. You know, I mean, I didn't really notice much of the jabbing. It's more of the counter punching from both sides they were trying. And one had better outcomes with his counter punching. He had better timing, just say that much. And that was Errol. but they both landed pretty good counter punching. Pretty good, yeah, pretty efficient stuff. Just one outdid the other in each round, and most of each rounds. That's what made it. It was a pretty competitive fight. I just say that much. And what else can I add to this? I think that's pretty much covers the whole thing. I think, yeah. Besides that, yeah, and Terrence Crawford. Yeah, I was gonna mention Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford ain't no bum. Terrence Crawford beats all these guys. You guys will find out eventually. Terrence Crawford beats all these guys. Terrence Crawford makes them look stupid. Cause just he's just wait. If you think any one of these guys have fast feet, whichever you favorite, Porter or Spence or whatever, Pacquiao, he has faster than those guys. His feet is just faster, and it takes him a while to understand his opposition in the first 3 rounds. When he clicks in, and that's what happened to Jose. Not Jose Benavidez. Was it Jose? Yeah, Jose Benavidez. Was it Jose Benavidez, his brother? Yeah, it's David Benavidez, the old one. Jose Benavidez. That's what happened to Jose Benavidez. I thought it was like, oh, he was in his head. No, it just takes him a while to click, and then Terrence Crawford takes over. He just dominates after that. That's exactly what's going to happen to majority of these guys, if not all of them, or just pure utter dominance. It could be also that. But that's too early to call. We'll just have to wait until those fights take place in the future, hopefully near. Yeah, I favor Spence over Pacquiao, but it's only slightly. I favor Terence Crawford over everyone. Adios, guys.